Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
Welcome to the Double R Show, Double R along with Son Paul, and we're going to nurture with nature.
Yeah, it's nature and nurture. It's part of Earth Week still, as we're dropping this episode.
And on top of that, we still are in the middle of Community Days. Today is a big day for the entire community to raise money and food for the Lincoln City Food Pantry.
Yeah, right out in front of Grocery Outlet from 7 to 5, so come on down. And then don't forget to stop by the Regatta Grounds after 6 tonight, too, for a special Dark Sky event.
Dark Sky, we'll talk more about that. What is Dark Sky and what we hope to gain from Dark Sky. That and more coming up on the Double R Show right after this.
You'll find a book for every occasion at Bob's Beach Books. Something to read as you relax by an open fire? We have it. Studying a particular topic? We have that too. Traveling to a far-off land? Discover it first by reading. Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City? Come discover.
Zantello Law Group has moved. I'm Josh Zantello, and our law firm is now located across from the Lincoln City Community Center on Northeast 21st. Our law firm of knowledgeable professionals stand ready to assist you in life's matters.
Christina Pasca joins us, and Christina is with the Cascade Head Biosphere Experience. That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Yeah, it is. And thank you for having me.
And what is the Cascade Head Biosphere Experience?
Yeah. So to put it simply, I am a guide taking people out to understand their connection to nature, and not only that, they're separate observers to nature, but that nature exists within them and also in the wonderful world that we live in. So really just communicating that we can exist peacefully and, benefit both nature and us. And we're natural beings at our core. So it's about teaching that and helping people to feel that energy.
And obviously, it's over Cascade Head is where you're taking people, correct?
Yeah. So Cascade Head itself, I think it's over 100,000 acres. It's a huge plot of land, but where I take people is the watershed part of it. So we will walk through Crowley Creek, and we're going to talk about, all of the species that exist and thrive in that area. And then I will also lead them down through the estuary and into the Salmon River. And along that journey, we'll talk about the salmon life cycle, we'll talk about the Sitka trees and everything that we're seeing to really build that relationship.
How frequently?
How frequently?
Yeah.
So it's going on throughout the summer, I think into late September. So the first one, I believe, is May 9th, and there will be about 2 a month throughout the summer up until September 13th is the last one.
Before I forget, how does someone enroll in the experience?
Yeah, so it's in partnership with Explore Lincoln City. So actually, you can just show up. The dates are on Explore Lincoln City's website. And then you show up and I will have you fill out a form and get to know you. And then we will go out there. So as long as you can go online to Explore Lincoln City, click on the experiences. There's a number of them. So there are some that are, tide pooling. There's the watershed, such as me. And that's how you do it. So it's pretty easy. You don't even need to sign up online.
Before we started recording, we were talking about you coming to Lincoln City.
Yes.
It's interesting. What brought you to Lincoln City?
Yeah. So I grew up on the East Coast and, nature is all around us, even if we're in a city or whatever it may be. And I was living in Tampa, Florida at the time. And I had a trip out to Oregon and California, and I just felt like my soul belonged there. And so that idea kind of festered for a few years. And then my lease was ending in Tampa, and people post-COVID were just flocking down to the city, and it was getting, really just overwhelmed with people. Rent was going up. And my lease was ending, and I thought, I'm just going to go on Zillow and see if there's any houses in Oregon. I put in the entire state of Oregon, knowing nothing about it, sight unseen. Found a Zillow listing, talked to the owner of the house. We had a really good, relationship and connection going because he wanted someone to be there that appreciated the land. And then I sold all my things, bought a Subaru, and didn't look back. Packed my cat up, took a 5-day drive over, 15 hours a day. And that's what happened. And I ended up in Lincoln City.
Regrets?
None, absolutely none. I mean, it's apparent in what I'm doing here with the experiences, but you can't get that kind of access to nature any other place. There's a magic about Cascade Head specifically that you just have to feel it to know, and that's what's so exciting about these.
And what's in that magic that you explore?
Yeah, I mean, I would say from more of a spiritual standpoint, I think there's a greater understanding of your purpose and where you exist within this great, beautiful thing that is Mother Nature when you're in that area. And you really can't trade it for anything. But on a more, like, I don't want to say scientific, but on a different sphere, there's just so many animals. I mean, we're going to see blue herons. I had elk back at Cascade Head, herds of elk. They're absolutely beautiful creatures. They're actually giving birth right now, so the baby elk are all around and about. Just a few days ago, I saw a cougar, not to scare anybody. Cougars are nocturnal, so they're not going to get to anyone. But yeah, there's a lot to see. I mean, bears, you've been in Lincoln City for how many years now?
A long time.
Yeah, but it is just, it's such an ecosystem, and it's something that we can really live in harmony with and understand more about.
Do you get a surprise every time that you go out?
I was just talking to someone on the phone about this when I had seen the cougar, because I saw it in person. It was about, like, I want to say 50 feet away, and it quite literally looked like a lion. And you cannot describe the feeling of awe, but also like terrified, but in a good way. You can't even describe it. It's just the power that these animals hold. It's a once in a lifetime experience to even be on that same land. So yeah.
And we want to make certain people know and understand, with the babies out there, leave them alone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it is very much worth noting that you have to respect nature in every regard. Animals are not supposed to be your friend. They don't want to be your friend, and you really have to let them exist in their environment. And, we're the visitors on that territory. So that's worth, remembering when we're out there.
You talked about the animals that you see along the trail. Do you also then talk a little bit about the flowers, the
Oh, yeah.
greenery?
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the things we're really going to get into on the experience, and I don't want to give away too much, but the beautiful Sitka trees and how they start from just the tiniest seed and then grow to literally hundreds of feet tall. And we will even do a practice in the experience, all putting our arms around and seeing how many of us it can take to go around the Sitka tree itself. So yeah, we will talk about the estuary. We'll talk about what it takes to, create an ecosystem such as that, from the amount of shade for the salmon to the bird boxes, because everything is so interconnected.
So, Christina Pascal, we do appreciate you taking time to come in. And one more time, to enroll into the program, we do what?
Look at the dates online at explorelincolncity.com and show up 10:30 a.m. to Knights Park. You will see, you'll see me smiling there with the Cascade Head Biosphere gear on. And you also, when you go, you can get a little token, a medallion, and we also have virtual passports because there are a number of experiences that you can do throughout Lincoln City at the coast and beyond.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, "The service was friendly and efficient." Another writes, "La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food."
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
Dr. Leslie Ogden, Samaritan North Lincoln Hospital, Pacific Communities Hospital, the CEO. Good to have her back to talk about surgery. And I said I wouldn't use the line, but I'm going to use it anyway. A cut above.
A cut above. I love that. Yes, surgery is one of those things that powers our small hospital. And we have more surgeries than I think most people know that we even do.
I think we get so used to the notion, the idea, well, you got to go to the big hospital to get what is right here in Lincoln City and Newport.
Correct. What is right here. I think we, in a previous show, we talked about our robotic assisted surgery, right, that we now have down in Newport, but we offer an awful lot right here in Lincoln City as well. For instance, I'm not sure that people know that they can get all their eye surgeries here, like their cataracts done. We are affiliated with Eye Care Associates, and they're smattered all over the valley, and they have an office right here as well, and they do all of those surgeries locally. So people can just go and get a cataract done, get one eye done 1 week and another eye done another week, and not have to leave at all. Things like our newest line is actually plastic surgery.
Really?
Yes, we have a plastic surgeon who comes out of Bend, and he loves to do surgeries on coastal patients and have it done right here in the area. So
It's got to be a tremendous amount of scheduling that goes into utilizing all of the facilities, right?
correct. Traditionally, how we've done it is each of our surgeons gets allotted a certain day and a certain amount of what we call block time. Those are surgical hours.
Sure.
And so then they typically see patients in clinic on their other days, but then they schedule the surgeries to happen during their block time, during that time that they're allotted to have the ORs above anyone else. Now, if they don't use that block time, then that can be given to someone else. And we carefully watch that up until a few days, and that's how some people might get moved around a little bit or offered an earlier surgery or something along those lines when we have additional time become available.
That is a very valuable space in a hospital that I think we really don't fully comprehend how valuable it really is.
Oh, correct. That is some of the highest value, space that we have, and we all have to share it. And so we make sure that all of the surgeons get the time that they need, and we just try to very carefully manage that. And we have a wonderful surgical services manager, a nurse manager, Angie Bailey, who's been here for years and years and just manages it like an expert.
Now, you mentioned two kinds of surgeries, the eye surgery and
Plastic.
plastic surgery. Yeah, thank you. You've got some others as well that we should have.
Absolutely. We've got all kinds of general surgery, and people might recognize that as like an appendectomy if you need your appendix out, or
Consoles,
yeah, well, that's actually ENT. General surgery is actually more like in your belly.
Okay.
So it would be like your gallbladder, like a cholecystectomy. It would be like if you had a colon resection, say you had, unfortunately, colon cancer. Then we could do that. So all of that belly type surgery. We also have urology. So we have all kinds of urologic surgeries. So that might be prostate surgery, bladder surgery, things along those lines. And then we also have OBGYN. Surgeries, obviously, C-sections and things that are needed for births, but also gynecologic surgery. So if someone needed any type of operations on their ovaries or in their uterus or any type of thing like that, we can offer all of that.
Now, the medical personnel that handle those surgeries are here full-time, part-time, little of both?
A little of both. So we have full-time general surgeons. We also have full-time OBGYNs. We have a part-time urologist. We also have a part-time ophthalmologist and a part-time plastic surgeon, obviously, that we discussed earlier. So it just depends on the volumes and the demand as to how often they're here and, what kind of surgeries they're doing.
Would you have the two surgeon or a surgeon operate in both in Lincoln City and Newport?
It is definitely possible they can.
Okay.
Most of the time, our full-time surgeons stay here, but we have some surgeons like Nazmul Haq, Dr. Haq, that many people might know because he's been in the area with Dr. Venja Murray for years and years off and on. He's now in McMinnville, but he comes here and Newport, and he does GI type surgeries like colonoscopies, and he'll book just a whole day and just do all the colonoscopies for people, in both Lincoln City and Newport.
It is amazing to me what has happened with the two hospitals.
Correct. They just keep growing. And
Better and better.
especially, I guess I have to definitely mention our orthopedic surgery program, because that is where we're doing an awful lot of growth. We have 3 surgeons who rotate in and out 24/7, 365. They're always here, but they'll do total joint surgeries, so knee replacements, hip replacements. They'll do all kinds of different orthopedic wrist surgeries, shoulder surgeries. We're prime candidates on the coast for needing some orthopedic help when we're 50% of us are 50 and over. So we make sure that we have all of that covered for people, and they can get it done right here in Lincoln City. Or, of course, there's a whole boatload of orthopedic surgeons as well down in Newport.
One thing that I have noticed that I really appreciate, I've moved a lot of prescriptions over to Samarta North Lincoln Hospital, and I don't stand in line.
Ooh, how lovely. That is exactly what we were hoping would happen, is that our new pharmacy that has opened on campus would be able to be that type of resource for people, so they can get their standard prescriptions, get it, right here close in town, and not have to wait, and have so many more services, value added, if you will, along with their standard pharmacy.
Now, you just added something that really is not medically related, a charging station. Why?
Right. Well, people, number one, they come from all over,
Okay.
and we have visitors here. But number two, increasingly, people drive electric vehicles or even some type of hybrid. But we have found that an awful lot of people, especially if they have an emergency, they don't always plan to have a perfectly full charged vehicle, if they're hopping in the car and going. And so we really needed some way to provide for patients and visitors who might drive electric vehicles to have a place if they get sort of stuck there for a while. We don't want them to get stranded, so we have options now. It was a program actually through Pacific Power. They provided grant funds to put in those charging stations, and we also have some that employees can use as well, because we know increasingly our employees, our staff, drive electric vehicles as well, and same with them. We don't want them to get stranded, and we want them to have a way to get there and back.
We live right in the flight path of the helicopters coming in and out of Samarta North Lincoln Hospital. You hear them all of the time. At what point in time do you call in one of those helicopters to the hospital?
Yeah, so those helicopters are called whenever we have a critical care patient. So if someone comes in and we assess them and we are worried about their stability of their whatever their situation is, and we know we need to get them to a higher level of care as soon as possible, that's when we call that flight team in. So it may be something like a major trauma, a traffic accident, for example, that we need to get them into a specialist surgeon up in Portland at a trauma center as fast as possible. That would be one of those times. Another one of those times would be if someone had a severe heart attack and we need to get them to the cath lab to unclog the blood vessels around their heart. So that would be another time we would call that helicopter. So a variety of circumstances, but every time you see that helicopter come in and out, just know that that is a serious injured patient or a serious medical condition, and we are potentially saving their lives as we fly them to that higher level of care. I think it should give everyone the warm fuzzies knowing that we have that available to us.
Dr. Leslie Ogden, Samarta North Lincoln Hospital, Pacific Communities Hospital, thank you for being here. And again, thank you. Just thank you.
Thanks.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service. Food, absolutely critical to life itself. And with us right now to talk about food and gathering food for the benefit of the community, Nancy Mitchell, the Executive Director of Food Share. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
We got a canned food drive taking place today, Thursday, as this is being aired here in Lincoln City. And that is, again, it's part of Community Days to raise money for people that really are in need.
Yes, everything helps, and we really appreciate it when the community gets involved. It's their way of giving back at times. So we appreciate that, and I know the Community Days in past years have been very successful and has benefited greatly the hunger relief efforts, all throughout the county. In this case, North Lincoln.
Yeah, we're right in front of Grocery Outlet today until 6 o'clock tonight. Started at 7 o'clock this morning. We're there till 6. So bring cash, bring food, and join in the celebration of Community Days as well.
Absolutely.
Now, the need is not going away, is it?
No, it's not.
We'd like to say it was.
Right.
But it's not.
It is not.
Is it growing, the need?
It's been growing year after year, I think just based on the cost of living, housing prices, lack of housing, the prices of everything has increased, but especially in these last couple years. Coming out of COVID, coming out of the pandemic, everything got kind of turned upside down, and we come out of that and food prices are higher. I think the food supply chain, affected a lot of things way back then, and we're still kind of catching up. But the price of food is higher, the price of housing is higher, and that leaves, once people pay their rent and your utilities and their car insurance, there's not a lot left for food. And food doesn't come with a written bill in the mail. You have to save enough money at the end of the paycheck to feed your family.
Any idea how many families benefit from food drives in the county?
Well, anybody that accesses programs would benefit from that. Right now, currently an average of about 2,000 households a month.
In Lincoln County?
In Lincoln County,
wow.
Access various food programs. There are pantries that are brick and mortar type of establishments. There's meal sites at churches and such that do community hot meals. And there's what we call supplemental programs where we might deliver food to a low-income housing complex or a senior housing complex, which we find is a pretty efficient model because we're bringing food actually to where people live.
So where does the food come from that you deliver?
Various streams of resources for us. USDA commodity food is one of them. And then the Oregon Food Bank, which is our statewide hub, because we're all connected through the state of Oregon. We have 21 regional food banks. So Oregon Food Bank does high volume purchasing. They work with farmers, they work with producers for produce, dairy, meat, and then we have the USDA commodities. And of course, we glean from the grocery stores and small farmers, if there are any around, food drives, community food drives, so that it comes from all different directions.
And most of the work is done by volunteers, is it not?
Yes, it is. You're correct. Yeah. We distribute to over 20 programs in Lincoln County. So that's pantries, meal sites, senior programs, kids programs. Mostly those, there might be a staff person on site at some of those programs, but most of them are volunteer run.
That's a lot of food. And what kind of items do you distribute specifically?
Well, back in the day, it was a lot of canned and dry goods. The canned soups, the canned chilies, boxed pasta, those kind of things. But over the years, there's been more purchasing of fresh produce and fresher, healthier foods. So produce, some dairy, meat products, so that are more perishable, which is a great thing for participants who are accessing food programs. It does sometimes cause a little bit of a storage issue at the local pantry sites because there's only so much refrigeration that can be these perishable items can be restored. But we do love the fact that these healthier foods are coming through the system that are really much better for people.
It's obvious to me that the gifts of food, be it canned foods, whatever would happen to be, are welcomed gifts. But cash, I would think, probably would benefit the program even more so, would it not?
You're right, yes. Although food drives, like the one
today
at Community Days, offers variety of food because oftentimes there's repetitive food
Sure.
products available.
Okay.
We get canned beans and we get rice and we get canned vegetables. Sometimes it's a repetitive sort of food supply. It can be at times. It's based on what's being purchased and what the prices are out there in the in the resource world. So food drives bring the variety, but the dollar really does go further because we can volume buy, truckloads of food. We don't specifically, but Oregon Food Bank does, and that food gets distributed around the state. So really the dollar has much more buying power than a can of green beans, let's say, for instance.
So if I want to write a check to a nonprofit food program, I would write it to?
Well, you could write it to Food Share of Lincoln County because we distribute all throughout the county, but there are people that want to serve or support their specific locations. So if there's a pantry in your neighborhood, let's say Lincoln City or Toledo or Walport, you're welcome to write a check directly to that program as well. It just depends on what the donor desires.
And the foodstuffs, the canned food, drop-off points throughout the county?
Throughout the county, our warehouse in Newport is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 3:30, so there's plenty of opportunity to drop off food there. And then pantries are limited in their days and hours, so you'd want to call your local pantry if you want to donate directly to them to make sure that you can reach somebody at their location.
We really can't help enough, can we?
Oh gosh, every day, every dollar, every day. We just need to try to get over this hump for sure.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
Home-style cooking in a hometown atmosphere. Hi, I'm Adina from Zeller's Restaurant in Rose Lodge in Lincoln City. Join us daily for good fun and great food. You can even kick up your heels at Zeller's.
Again, we remind you that today is the day as we drop this brand new program on the Double R Show that the food drive is underway until 5 o'clock this afternoon out in front of Grocery Outlet. It is imperative that people either give cash and or bags of food.
Yeah, it's really an opportunity for folks to contribute. And like we heard from Nancy Mitchell, the need's there all year round. And this is just one of the many ways that they themselves get food and it hits all these pantries around our community.
Brand new event, all part of Community Days, Dark Sky Week. The preview party at 6 o'clock tonight. The location is down at the Regatta Grounds. Dark sky means what to you, Paul?
Well, a dark sky community, which, I think Lincoln City is looking to become, is one that is conscious of the opportunity to look and see that beautiful sky year-round, and so it's like reducing your light pollution by having, smart lighting, stuff that's pointing down on the street where you're looking at the light, not stuff flying up into the sky. And you really create this halo effect by, light pollution. And so by reducing that, our community can get certified as a dark sky community, and then that's really an opportunity for tourism and also just, enjoyment.
Yeah, let alone if you turn down the lights, you're going to save money on your bill.
Yeah, that's a big thing, too.
It's a big thing.
Getting smart lighting is very smart on the economic side of it, too, yeah.
Other parts of Community Week, as we close out Community Week, we've got the Trivia Night that is going to be taking place down at the Pines Dine. That's Friday evening, the 25th. And then on Saturday, big day, on Saturday, the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast down at Moe's. It is $10 for the breakfast. Tickets are on sale, or you can buy them at the door as well. Just $10, and all of that money goes to the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club. Moe's provides all of the food and the space.
Wow, that's impressive.
So it is 100% of the $10 fee goes to the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club for scholarships and the like. Also, the Ducky Derby, 3 o'clock at the Dee River. And the concluding event is the awards celebration banquet, if you will. That's at 6 o'clock at the Lincoln City Cultural Center. It is a gala event without being fancy dress.
Yeah, I think it's $5 for a burger or something.
Yep.
It's just an opportunity to come down, hang out with folks, and just enjoy that closeout of Community Days.
Special thanks goes to Chinook Winds Casino Resort, reminding you it is better at the beach. And Chinook Winds has got a month of activities upcoming in June as they celebrate their 30th anniversary.
Right. 30 years, yeah.
30 years in Lincoln City. It is a monster event. We've been privy to hearing a little bit about what may be forthcoming, but we can't say anything.
Well, it's going to be great. We know that.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, 30 years is quite an achievement, and the casino is really going to put on a show.
It will be a whale of a show all month long, the month of June of this year. Also, like to remind everybody that you still have an opportunity to enjoy fine dining and inexpensive dining in the same place. You have the casino, the Rogue River, and of course the deli. Across the way at the hotel is the Chinook Grill, and we can go out to the Lakeside, or Lakeside, it's not Lakeside, it's Chinook Winds Golf Course, showing my age, Chinook Winds Golf Course, and there's good dining out there as well.
Yeah, at Aces.
Aces is the places.
That's right, yeah.
And finally, I'd like to draw your attention to some city events, which does include Budget Committee coming up in the City Council chambers on May 5, May 6, we got Planning Commission, May 7, the Library Board, and May 12, City Council meets in chambers again. Spaghetti dinner is going to be taking place out at Benai Breath. This is on May 15th. Tickets now on sale. It is a spaghetti dinner that supports the youth of the community. That gives us an opportunity to raise money for BB Camp, and that takes place in June, July, with all of the young people getting a marvelous experience at BB Camp.
Yeah, that's a great offering that they've opened up to the community. I know it's been probably a decade since they really ramped that up, and so it's a great opportunity for day camp through parts of the summer.
Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce Business Conference coming up June 27th, 10 to 3. For more information on that, stop up at the Lincoln City Chamber office. And Bejeweled. This is a food share event, as we talked a little bit about during our earlier part of the podcast. Pre-loved jewelry fundraiser Saturday, May 10th, 10 until 1. And then this is going to be at the Central Coast Assembly of God Church down in Newport. It is Bejeweled.
It's a great event, yeah.
I think I have run out of goodies for today. From your side of the table,
we're clear from here.
So that will do to the doings of the Double R Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, so you, your family, and friends around the world, including Germany and across the street, can join us on the Double R Show. For Paul and Jana, I'm Double R. Have a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grawn.